Jonathan Marsh stepped lightly through the thick underbrush, his eyes scanning the night sky through breaks in the forest canopy. His old friend and fellow stargazer, Michael, trudged alongside him, both laden with backpacks and telescopes, their breaths visible in the chill night air. "Seriously, John, only you would drag me out here in the middle of the night for a meteor shower," Michael grumbled, adjusting his pack on his shoulder. Jonathan chuckled, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "Come on, Mike, when have I ever steered us wrong? Tonight is supposed to be spectacular." The two finally reached a clearing, and Jonathan quickly set up his telescope, aligning it with the coordinates he'd meticulously noted. Michael, less precise but equally eager, positioned his own telescope and peered through it, scanning the starlit sky. As they adjusted their equipment, a streak of light suddenly cut across the sky, brighter and closer than any shooting star either had seen before. It descended rapidly, disappearing behind a grove of trees at the edge of the clearing. "What was that?" Michael exclaimed, his usual skepticism overridden by awe. "I don't know, but it landed nearby." Jonathan's voice was a mix of excitement and curiosity. Without hesitation, he grabbed a flashlight and headed toward the grove. Michael, after a moment's hesitation, followed. The underbrush rustled under their hurried steps as they approached the site. The air was electric, filled with a strange, humming vibration that seemed to pulsate from the ground itself. As they neared, Jonathan spotted a glowing object half buried in the earth, pulsing with light. "Look at that!" Jonathan approached cautiously, mesmerized by the radiant object. It was spherical, covered in intricate markings that shimmered under the flashlight's beam. Michael caught up, breathing heavily. "Is that a meteorite?" "It's something else," Jonathan murmured, reaching out slowly. As his fingers touched the surface, the sphere opened like a blooming flower, revealing a radiant, otherworldly figure within. The figure was slender, ethereal, with an aura of light that made the night around them feel like twilight. What are you?" Jonathan asked, his voice a mix of fear and fascination. The figure smiled, her voice melodic yet echoing as if from a great distance. "I am Aliana. I am here to grant 3 wishes, as bound by the celestial decree of my people." Michael and Jonathan exchanged bewildered looks. Wishes? This was beyond any astronomical event they'd imagined witnessing. 3 wishes? Michael asked skeptically. Aliana nodded, her eyes gentle. "Yes, but choose wisely. The wishes must be true to your heart's deepest desires." Jonathan felt a rush of possibilities flood his mind, but he paused, looking at Aliana with a mixture of reverence and curiosity. "Could you show us what it means to truly love? I mean, the depth of connection that binds the universe." Aliana's luminescent cheeks tinted a soft pink, her expression tender yet surprised. "That is a beautiful request. Love is the very essence of existence, binding and intertwining fates across the cosmos. To start, let us explore this connection through the simplicity of human touch." She stepped forward, closing the space between them. Her hand reached out, touching Jonathan's. The contact sparked a warmth that radiated up his arm, filling him with a profound sense of peace and understanding. Michael watched, astounded by the transformation in his friend's demeanor. "This is real. It's all real," he muttered under his breath, his scientific mind racing to comprehend the unexplainable. "Yes, it is as real as the stars above us," Aliana confirmed, her smile widening. "Shall we explore this journey of connection together?" As the night unfolded, Jonathan and Michael embarked on a celestial journey of understanding, guided by a being whose very essence taught them the cosmic scale of love, without even leaving the earth. Under the canopy of countless stars, Jonathan and Michael stood beside Aliana, their senses heightened by the profound experience of their first celestial lesson in love. The air around them seemed to shimmer with a gentle luminescence, the forest bathed in an otherworldly glow. "So, what exactly does it mean to experience cosmic love? Is it just this feeling of peace?" Michael asked, his voice a mix of curiosity and awe. Aliana smiled warmly. "Cosmic love transcends mere feelings. It is the fundamental connection that binds all existence. It is both a journey and a destination, and tonight, I will guide you through its beginning. She motioned for them to sit on the soft earth, the grass seemingly curling around to make them more comfortable. Let us start with the simplest form of connection, touch. Jonathan, still holding her hand, felt a rush of warmth. Michael, observing, hesitated before extending his hand as well. Aliana took it, and a similar wave of warmth passed through him. This warmth you feel, Aliana began, is the physical manifestation of a deeper bond. Now, close your eyes and focus on the sensations. The two men closed their eyes, their breathing slowing. The gentle night breeze carried the subtle fragrances of the forest, enhancing the serenity of the moment. Now, imagine this warmth spreading from your hands to the rest of your body, Aliana instructed. Let it fill you entirely, connecting you to the earth below and the stars above. As they followed her words, Jonathan and Michael felt a growing connection not just to Aliana, but to each other and the world around them. It was as if the barriers between them were dissolving, leaving a profound unity in their place. Is this how stars feel? Connected in the vastness of space? Jonathan murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. Exactly, Aliana replied. In the cosmos, distances are vast, but connections are stronger because of those distances. Now, let's deepen that connection with a shared memory. Think of a moment of pure joy in your life, she continued. Hold that memory close and share it with us through your mind. Jonathan thought of his childhood, running through fields with his dog, the laughter and freedom. Michael remembered his first night using a telescope, the awe of seeing the moon's craters up close. As they shared these memories, the warmth grew, and they felt a surge of happiness and wonder. This exchange of memories, Aliana explained, enhances your connection. Through joy, you share your essence with each other. Michael, usually the skeptic, found himself overwhelmed by the emotional clarity. It's like we're truly seeing into each other's souls, he said. Yes, and through this, you learn that every being has a universe within them, full of stars, storms, and stories. Understanding this is the first step towards cosmic love. As the night progressed, their conversation deepened into discussions about life, the universe, and everything in between. Aliana guided them gently, her insights profound yet accessible. Jonathan felt a shift within him, a deeper understanding of his place in the universe. Aliana, this is more than I ever expected. It's not just about knowing others, but truly seeing them. Yes, Jonathan, Aliana replied, her eyes reflecting the starlight. And seeing them, you recognize their worth, their struggles, and their desires. You share the beauty and pain of existence together. As dawn approached, the first light began to touch the sky, painting it with hues of pink and orange. The three of them stood, feeling connected not just to each other, but to the life force of the universe itself. This is just the beginning, Aliana promised, as the stars above began to fade in the morning light. There are deeper connections to explore, greater joys to experience. Jonathan and Michael nodded, feeling ready for whatever lessons lay ahead, their hearts open and their minds eager to learn more of the cosmic secrets Aliana had to offer. As the new day dawned, Jonathan and Michael, along with Aliana, packed up their telescopes and made their way back through the forest, their minds still resonating with the night's revelations. The morning was crisp, and the birds sang as if to celebrate their newfound understanding. Last night was incredible, Michael admitted as they hiked, his skepticism waning under the weight of experience. I mean, I felt things I didn't think were possible. Jonathan nodded, his eyes reflective. It's like we tapped into something universal, something bigger than us. Aliana walked between them, her presence calming yet exhilarating. What you felt was the song of the cosmos, a melody that plays continuously but is seldom heard by those not listening. For your second wish, would you like to delve deeper into this melody? Yes, Jonathan responded without hesitation. I want to hear the cosmos, not just feel it. Is that possible? It is, Aliana confirmed, a smile playing on her lips. But to truly hear the cosmos, we must reach a place of higher elevation, closer to the heavens. The trio changed their path, heading towards a nearby mountain known for its clear skies and minimal light pollution. As they climbed, Aliana explained the concept of cosmic vibrations. Everything in the universe vibrates, from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies. These vibrations create sounds, a symphony of the stars, she said. Michael, ever the scientist, was intrigued. So, we're going to listen to these vibrations? How? With this, Aliana said, pulling a small, intricately carved flute from her cloak. This instrument can translate cosmic vibrations into sounds that human ears can perceive. Reaching the summit as the sun set, they set up camp under the emerging stars. Aliana took out the flute and began to play. The notes were soft at first, then grew clearer, resonating with an ethereal beauty that seemed to echo across the heavens. Jonathan and Michael sat, transfixed. The sound was unlike anything they had ever heard, haunting yet beautiful, distant yet intimately close. It was as if the universe itself was communicating with them, revealing its secrets through Aliana's melody. "This is incredible," Michael whispered, his voice full of wonder. "It's like I can hear the stars talking." "It's not just the stars," Aliana explained, pausing her play. "It's the interaction between all cosmic entities, planets, stars, black holes, and even the dark matter that binds them." As the night deepened, they took turns using the flute, each note bringing them closer to the cosmic forces at play. Jonathan felt a deep connection, not just to the universe, but also to Michael and Aliana, as if the music was weaving them together in a tapestry of sound and soul. "What does this teach us?" Jonathan asked, handing the flute back to Aliana. "It teaches that everything is connected through sound, through vibrations. By understanding these connections, you gain a greater appreciation of how intricate and interwoven life truly is," Aliana responded. The lesson wasn't lost on them. The beauty of the universe was not just in its sights, but also in its sounds. They spent the remainder of the night discussing the implications of this, their conversations drifting from science to philosophy and back again. As dawn approached, Aliana stood and looked towards the horizon, where the first light of morning was beginning to streak the sky. The universe has many more secrets to share, many more melodies to offer. This night is just a beginning. Jonathan and Michael, feeling more bonded than ever, packed up their gear as the sun rose. They were ready to continue this journey, eager for the next revelation, the next connection. Their hearts and minds open, they descended the mountain with Aliana, the echoes of the universe still resonating within them, a symphony that would guide them forward. After their descent from the mountain, Jonathan, Michael, and Aliana found themselves at a quaint roadside cafe to replenish their energy. As they sipped on strong coffee, the sky began to brighten with the morning sun, illuminating the world in soft, golden hues. "Last night was surreal," Michael remarked, stirring his coffee thoughtfully. "Hearing the universe. It's like understanding a new language." Jonathan nodded in agreement. "It makes you wonder what other secrets the cosmos holds." "What else can we learn, Aliana?" Aliana smiled gently. "The universe is vast and its lessons infinite. Today, we can explore the concept of cosmic motion. Everything in the universe moves in a precise, dance-like pattern. Would you like to feel this movement?" Both men eagerly agreed, intrigued by the idea of experiencing cosmic rhythms firsthand. "Good," Aliana said as they finished their coffees and stood up. "Let's find an open space where the earth and sky meet without barriers." They drove to a nearby field, expansive and untouched, where the horizon stretched wide. The field was silent except for the gentle rustling of grass underfoot. Cosmic dance is not just about motion. It's about harmony and balance, Aliana began, as they stood in the middle of the field. Each celestial body follows a path dictated by the forces around it, much like a dance guided by music. "How can we feel this dance?" Jonathan asked, his curiosity piqued. Aliana closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them with a clear focus. "By tuning in to the rhythm of the earth beneath our feet and the sky above us. Let's start by simply walking in sync." The trio started walking through the field in a straight line. Then gradually, Aliana introduced changes to their pace and direction, mimicking the elliptical orbits of planets. "Feel the pull and push?" This is similar to the gravitational forces that guide planets. Jonathan and Michael attempted to follow her lead, adjusting their steps to maintain balance and harmony with each other's movements. The exercise was more challenging than it seemed, requiring full awareness of each other's presence and pace. This is like a physical metaphor for orbital mechanics, Michael exclaimed, a grin spreading across his face as he began to understand the dynamics. Exactly, Aliana replied. Now, let's add another layer. Imagine the sun's pull, the moon's influence. Adjust your pace and trajectory as if you are in their gravitational field. As they continued to move, the men felt a rhythm develop between them, an unspoken understanding that deepened their synchronization. They moved through the field, sometimes closer, sometimes apart, but always connected by the invisible forces they imagined. It's like we're not just moving. We're connecting with something bigger, Jonathan observed, breathing deeply, feeling more attuned with his surroundings. Now, let's pause and just feel, Aliana suggested. They stopped walking and stood silently, feeling the wind, the warmth of the sun, and the solid earth beneath their feet. Michael, usually reserved, shared his reflection. It's strange. I'm starting to feel less like an observer of the universe and more a part of it. That's an important realization, Aliana nodded. You are indeed a part of this cosmic dance, not separate from it. Every step, every breath you take, is in sync with the universe's rhythm. As the sun climbed higher, they continued their dance, laughing and experimenting with different movements, each movement bringing a new understanding of the cosmic forces at play. As the lesson concluded, they sat down on the grass, feeling exhilarated and enlightened. Today's lesson was about movement, but it was also about connection and harmony. Remember this feeling as we continue our journey, Aliana said, her eyes reflecting the sky's vastness. Jonathan and Michael nodded, their minds alive with new insights, ready to embrace whatever the universe had next to teach them. The field around them was more than just space. It had become a classroom under the open sky, where they learned the universe's most profound dances. After their lesson in the cosmic dance, Jonathan, Michael, and Aliana found themselves at a local observatory for the night. The observatory's dome opened to a vast, starry sky, the perfect setting for contemplation and deeper conversation. As they adjusted the telescope to view distant galaxies, Jonathan turned to Aliana, his expression thoughtful. These lessons, are they just for us, or is there a bigger purpose to all of this? Aliana glanced at the night sky, her face illuminated by starlight. The lessons are for anyone willing to learn. The universe doesn't choose favorites. It reveals its secrets to those who seek them. Michael, who was checking the telescope settings, chimed in, and what about us? Have we changed in ways beyond just knowledge? I feel different, more connected, I suppose. That is precisely the point, Aliana replied. Understanding the universe changes how you see everything. It's not just about stars and planets. It's about seeing the interconnectedness of all things. Jonathan nodded, peering through the telescope. So, what's our next lesson then? Aliana smiled softly. Tonight, there is no structured lesson. Instead, I think it's important we discuss what you've learned and how it applies to your lives. The three of them settled into comfortable chairs, the telescope now idle as they delved into discussion. Michael began, his tone reflective. I used to think of the universe as just a vast space, cold and impersonal. Now, it feels like a living entity, something we're a part of, not just existing within. Jonathan agreed. I've noticed changes in how I interact with others. There's more patience, more empathy. I used to rush through life, but now I see the value in every moment, every connection. Aliana listened intently, her eyes gleaming with approval. These are significant revelations. It shows you're not just absorbing knowledge, you're integrating it into your being. The conversation shifted as they shared personal stories of how their encounters with cosmic lessons had begun to influence their daily lives. Jonathan spoke of a recent encounter where he helped a stranger with a broken-down car, feeling a sense of unity and purpose he hadn't felt before. Michael shared a different perspective. I've started writing again, something I haven't done since college. It's like these experiences have unlocked a part of me that I had shut away. As they talked, Aliana encouraged them to think about how they could continue applying these insights. The universe is always evolving, and so are you. Each day is a chance to expand your understanding and apply it. The discussion lasted well into the night, each topic branching into deeper introspection about life, existence, and their roles within the cosmic tapestry. Finally, as the early hours of the morning approached, Jonathan stood up, stretching his limbs. I think what's most profound is that these aren't just lessons about the universe but lessons about life. It's all one and the same, isn't it? Aliana nodded, her expression serene. Exactly. The cosmos is both the greatest teacher and the most profound lesson. It mirrors back to us not just how we are to live but why we live. As dawn neared, they packed up their belongings, the observatory now quiet, the telescope pointing towards a sky that was slowly brightening. They left feeling not just enlightened but transformed, each star above a reminder of the lessons learned and those still unfolding. Michael summed it up as they walked back to their car. It's not just about exploring the universe out there, but also the universe within us. It's all interconnected, and that's a powerful realization. With a sense of quiet anticipation for the next part of their journey, Jonathan and Michael followed Aliana, each step a testament to the profound journey they were on together. The following day found Jonathan, Michael, and Aliana at a quiet lakeside retreat, the still water mirroring the clear blue sky. It was a place of natural tranquility, ideal for reflection and the occasional skipping of stones across the calm surface. As they walked along the shore, Jonathan broke the silence. You know, all this talk about the universe and connections, it's made me rethink my final wish. At first, I thought about asking for something grand, but now, I'm not so sure. Michael, picking up a flat stone and tossing it expertly across the water, turned to him. It sounds like you've already gained more than you expected. Maybe the wish itself is just a formality now? Aliana watched the stone skip 4 times before sinking. A wish is a deep expression of desire, but sometimes, the journey to articulate that wish teaches us more about what we truly need rather than what we want. Jonathan nodded thoughtfully, then his face lit up with resolve. I've made a decision. My final wish. I want it to be for your happiness, Aliana. Aliana paused, visibly touched. Jonathan, that is a very selfless choice. But are you sure? This is your wish, after all. Yes, I'm sure, Jonathan affirmed. Seeing how connected everything is, how could I wish for anything personal when I've already received so much? Your journey, helping us, it must have sacrifices too, right? Michael looked between them, a smile forming. That's a pretty big leap, John. From wanting grand things to giving your wish away for someone else's happiness. You've changed, man. Aliana's expression softened. Such generosity is rare. It's a beautiful thing to witness. They continued walking, the topic shifting to what happiness might look like for a being like Aliana. She shared stories of her realm, a place of light and harmony where beings communicated through emotions and thought. As a wish granter, I traverse many worlds, helping others realize their dreams, Aliana explained. It's fulfilling, but it also means leaving a part of me with each journey. Your wish for my happiness gives me a chance to reflect on my own path. Michael, always keen to understand more, asked, so what does make you happy? What does a celestial being enjoy? Aliana laughed, a sound as clear as the lake. Much like you, I find joy in connections, in understanding and being understood. Your wish allows me to explore new aspects of joy and satisfaction. As they sat down on a wooden dock, feet dangling over the water, Jonathan looked reflective. I think we sometimes get so caught up in our desires that we forget about the joy in giving, in simply being part of someone else's happiness. Michael nodded, watching a fish ripple the water's surface. It's ironic, isn't it? We start out wanting to change the world or at least get something from it, and we end up realizing that giving might be the best thing we can do. They spent the rest of the afternoon discussing future plans. Jonathan expressed a desire to write about their experiences, hoping to share what they'd learned about cosmic connections and selflessness. Michael considered deepening his studies in astronomy, now driven by a newfound appreciation for the philosophical aspects of the universe. As the sun set, casting long shadows over the lake, Aliana stood and stretched her arms towards the sky. Your journey doesn't end here. This wish, this moment, it's a part of your evolution, a step towards something even greater. Jonathan and Michael stood with her, watching the sunset paint the sky with colors so vivid they seemed otherworldly. Thank you, Aliana, for everything, Jonathan said, his voice thick with emotion. And thank you both, she replied, for teaching me about human kindness and the beauty of simple, selfless wishes. As night fell, they left the lake, each step away echoing with the peace of fulfilled desires and the silent promise of countless new beginnings. The morning after Jonathan granted his final wish for Aliana's happiness, the trio gathered at a quaint coffee shop in the small town near the lake. The early hours were quiet, and the gentle hum of conversation from other patrons created a cozy atmosphere. They sat with steaming cups of coffee, reflecting on the journey they had undertaken together. Jonathan stirred his coffee slowly, his mind seemingly far away. You know, when we first met Aliana, I never imagined this is where we'd end up. It feels like we've stepped through a door we can't close. Michael, who had been quietly listening, nodded. It's like opening your eyes for the first time. Do you think we'll ever go back to seeing the world as we did before? Aliana smiled softly. Once you expand your horizon, it's impossible to return to a narrower view. You've grown, and that growth will inform every decision you make from now on. The conversation then turned to practical matters. What will you do when you return to your realm? Jonathan asked Aliana, a hint of sadness in his voice. My role as a wish-granter will continue, but with a new perspective. Your wish for my happiness has reminded me of the importance of finding joy in my journey, not just facilitating joy for others, Aliana explained, her eyes reflecting a deep, intrinsic understanding. Michael leaned forward, intrigued. And what about us? We can't grant wishes or travel between stars. Aliana's response was encouraging. You don't need to travel across the cosmos to make a difference. Share what you've learned. Inspire others with your stories. The ripple effect of your actions here will travel farther than you might imagine. As they finished their coffee, Jonathan proposed a plan. I'm thinking of writing a book about our experiences. Not just as a record, but as a guide of sorts. What do you think, Mike? Michael grinned, his earlier skepticism replaced by enthusiasm. I think it's a great idea, and I'll contribute with the science side of things. Between your narratives and my explanations, we might just make sense of all this. Aliana beamed at them. That sounds wonderful. Such a project could touch many lives. They spent the next hour discussing potential chapters and key messages they wanted to include in the book. Jonathan was keen on highlighting the personal transformations they had undergone, while Michael was excited to delve into the scientific principles they had encountered, explained in a way that would resonate with readers without a scientific background. As their meeting drew to a close, Aliana stood and looked at both men with a sense of pride. This is not just the end of our journey together. It's the beginning of something new for each of you. I'm honored to have been a part of it. Jonathan stood and embraced Aliana. Thank you for everything. You've changed our lives. Michael joined in, shaking her hand with warmth. Yeah, thanks. It's been more than I could have ever expected. As Aliana prepared to leave, she gave them each a small, luminescent stone. Keep these as reminders of the universe's vastness and your place within it. Remember, you are as much a part of the cosmos as any star or planet. With final goodbyes, Aliana left the coffee shop, her figure blending into the morning crowd until she disappeared from sight. Jonathan and Michael remained at their table, a mix of emotions playing across their faces. Finally, Michael spoke. So, about this book, let's really do it. Let's tell our story. Jonathan nodded, his resolve clear. Yes, let's share our journey. If it changes even one person's perspective as much as it changed ours, it'll be worth it. The two men left the coffee shop with a new purpose, ready to embark on their next adventure, armed with the knowledge and insights they had gained from their extraordinary encounters with Aliana, the wish-granter from the stars. Years had passed since Aliana left, and Jonathan and Michael's book had become a modest success. It was a clear evening, and they found themselves back at the same observatory where much of their journey together had crystallized into a deeper understanding of the cosmos. As they set up their equipment, the stars twinkling brightly above them, Michael adjusted the telescope and looked up. It's amazing, isn't it? After all these years, the stars still have the same allure. Jonathan, who was unpacking a camera to capture the night sky, nodded. They do. And every time I look up, I remember her words about how we're all part of this vast cosmic dance. The observatory was quiet, save for the occasional murmur of other astronomers and the soft whirring of the telescope as it moved. They were older now, their faces marked by lines of laughter and years of squinting into telescopic lenses, but their enthusiasm for the stars was undiminished. Do you ever wonder what she's doing now, Aliana? Michael asked, his voice tinged with nostalgia. All the time, Jonathan replied. I like to think she's out there, making other people's lives better, just like she did ours. The conversation drifted to their ongoing projects. Michael had started a community program to teach kids about astronomy, using the principles they had learned from Aliana to inspire a new generation. It's something, seeing those kids look through a telescope for the first time. It reminds me of us, back when we started, Michael said, his eyes bright. Jonathan laughed. I remember. I thought I knew everything about the stars until she showed up and turned it all upside down. They spent the next few hours observing the heavens, discussing their findings and theories, much like they had in the early days of their friendship. It was a comfortable routine, one that had formed the backbone of their relationship over the years. As the night progressed, Jonathan turned to Michael, a thoughtful expression on his face. Do you think we fulfilled her expectation? That we've spread the knowledge and the wonder she shared with us? Michael considered this for a moment, then nodded. I think so. Look at what we've done. Your books, my programs. We've shared her gift with hundreds, maybe even thousands. That's got to count for something. Jonathan smiled, satisfied. It's strange. We started out trying to document our journey, and it ended up changing us in ways we never expected. Isn't that the point, though? Michael mused. To go into the unknown and come out different, better? Definitely, Jonathan agreed. They packed up their equipment, the stars overhead witnessing their slow, steady movements. As they walked out of the observatory, Jonathan stopped and looked back at the night sky. She gave us a great gift, but the greatest gift we've given each other is this friendship. It's been an incredible journey, Mike. Michael clapped him on the shoulder. And it's not over yet. There are still plenty of stars we haven't seen, and as long as we're able, I say we keep looking. Jonathan nodded, his gaze fixed on the constellations above. To the stars, then, for as long as we can. Together, they walked away from the observatory, their footsteps echoing softly in the night, bound by years of friendship and a shared quest for understanding. A quest that had taken them from the depths of human connection to the vast expanses of the universe. And in that vastness, they found not only answers but also endless questions, continuing their journey among the stars.